Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah.
And today we are trying something new on the podcast. I'm starting a segment that I want to do like every couple of weeks called Bodybuilding Tea.
Ooh.
I wish I had insert me sipping a coffee or something.
Photoshop
or a tea or
it
something.
in.
Photoshop
it
that
would
in.
be tea, right?
Well, I don't want tea. I want coffee.
I don't like tea, but I went to this really cute like tea place in Florida when I was there, and it had like a bunch of old ladies with like the little feather hats. It was adorable, and it was actually really good.
Yeah, when people make it, like legit make it at tea places, it's good. But I don't have that time.
Yeah, no, same.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I'll like put a bag in it, and I'm like, this tastes like dirt.
I did go through a phase like in high school where I was obsessed with tea.
A tea phase.
Yeah, which is, you know how you go through phases in high school of like.
I still go through phases.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I still go through phases.
I went through a coffee phase in high school where I would have like 5 a day.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm still in that.
Not good
I'm
for
still
me.
there. I'm just kidding. I'm getting.
I switched to energy drinks.
Yeah. I go to today's Wednesday, which is my rest day. And every Wednesday, it's like something I look forward to. I go to a coffee shop and I get to work all day.
I need to join you because I started doing that. Have you been to Austin Library?
No.
Like the one downtown?
No.
A great place to work.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been there.
It's
and I've
actually
wanted to go
so
there.
pretty. I'll go with you. Can
Yeah.
we go together?
Yes,
I feel
we
like
can
we
go.
just need to hang out anyway.
Let's
it's been a long
go.
time.
I'm going today at 12. Granted, if this podcast doesn't take too long. And I'm meeting Katie. We're just making plans over this podcast. Katie, you know Katie. She was on our podcast. Katie coaches vegan.
Okay, yeah.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Her and another girl, if you want to come with us at 12, we're just going to be.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're just going to be there like working all day. And if not, me and you can go to the library
one?
next Wednesday.
It's so sick.
It'll be fun.
Yay.
It's just nice to like silently work and have people there.
What
you know what I mean?
noticed, I think it's an ADD thing, and I like read up on it a little bit. If you do have any sort of like attention deficit, like whatever, if people around you are doing something, you're more likely to actually do it. So if the people around me are working, I'm way better at staying focused and working. If the people around me are talking, I can't get anything done.
I can't. Like when Zach leaves, what's so crazy is when Zach leaves like for vacation, I have a harder time working. I don't know why. I have so much more time to like, because I'm by myself and like we do a lot of business stuff together, so I'm not getting interrupted by like anybody. And I struggle with working because I don't know that he's upstairs also working. Like it's so
You're
weird.
like, oh, I have no one holding me accountable.
I don't know, and like I'm so it's so hard for me to like wake up and go and do all the things that I do.
Yeah.
And then I recently realized that I'm struggling working here at home. I don't know why, because there's, I guess, that I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. It's my home. And when I like pack my meals and go to a coffee shop and I'm there for the sole purpose of working and there's nothing else really for me to do, I work better. I don't know why.
No, I'm the same exact way.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing that a couple times a week because I get bored.
Well,
Here,
text me.
I'll text you.
Whenever.
But yeah, bodybuilding tea. So basically what this like little it's not going to be a series, but it's just going to be a segment
I'm excited.
where we just go over like what's the tea in the bodybuilding industry. It might be tea, it might not be tea.
It's usually not.
Usually there's nothing big that's going around. Oh, but something just popped in my mind. I guess we'll just talk about this first.
Okay. I also know nothing that Julie's getting into.
Yes.
And I, just for context, I know I've talked about it before. I don't really intake a lot of fitness content. I do on Instagram. Like all the girls I follow are like somehow in the fitness space one way or another. But like my YouTube, my podcast, I don't listen or watch like anything fully fitness related anymore. I think I just got over it. And I go through phases with that too. So I might go back.
I had to dig for some of these
so
things.
Yeah, like all of these are probably going to be shockers to me.
Well, the first one that I was talking about that just popped into my mind, Goob, if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, but he basically calls out the BS in the fitness industry, like of people who editing their photos to make their waist look smaller or their butt look bigger or whatever, and he calls them out. But recently, I'm pretty sure he's gone after the WBFF. What was that?
Okay.
What was that about? Because I don't know
know
anything about the WBFF. And look, it just popped in my mind, so I didn't do any research on it. But I remember just seeing a video pop up, and that's about it.
So this is something I experienced because I did compete in the WBFF very briefly, only for like a year. I think I did 2 shows with them within 1 year. They are okay, I have a hard time talking about drama because I don't want to get in trouble. But in my experience, allegedly, like people say that IFBB and NPC are political. They are nothing compared to WBFF.
No.
I stepped on a stage where every girl in the top 5 that beat me, because I think I came in 6th or 5th, everyone that beat me, their coach was the judge.
Oh, that sucks.
So that was enough for me to be like, this was so unfair. Like, so, or their coaches are always the promoter of that show. And that's why they have their girls do that show, because then they have a say in their placement. So it makes them look better as a coach. Yeah. So that's something that really irked me. I don't even know if that's what he's going into. Yeah. I think I did see one of these videos like pop up on my timeline, but his timeline's like a Facebook or like a MySpace.
What are you doing?
Pop up on my feed. Okay, I'm still unwell.
My MySpace status. We weren't even alive.
I literally never had MySpace.
I don't think we were alive. I don't know.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I don't know if that's what even he's going into, but I think something I saw him mention was just like the sheer sway of like bias in that what would you call it? Federation. So like there was something going on with like the owner of the federation, like someone contacted them saying like this girl did this, and he was like, it'll be taken care of. Like they just kind of like, it's sketchy. Like it's weird. And then also another thing that always bothered me, and I'm so glad, I'm pretty sure Goob just posted like this playing over music. I don't think he even said anything. I could be wrong. I know at least the beginning of the video was this way. They have like a WBFF Kids where they're posting like kids modeling, like sometimes in like athletic wear, and like kid stuff bothers me in general, especially on social media with knowing everything going on in the world. And like,
that's weird.
Huge trigger warning. I know it's a touchy subject, but like human trafficking and stuff like that is typically directed at children. So to have a full site, a full competition, a full page full of like girls, like young girls in like full faces of makeup wearing certain outfits, and all of the followers are men. All of them are like full grown men, which is really disturbing. So that always made me feel weird too. Those are the 2 reasons I left. And then I do think there's some other tea on top of that. But in general, weird federation.
Weird.
Little weird.
Yeah, we don't know very much. I didn't go into I didn't
I'm like anxious talking about this.
You're like, they're gonna come.
I'm like, please don't come for me.
They're gonna come after me. Yeah. I know Goob's got it covered. Goob is he's getting down to business. But honestly, if we want to just like have topics for this segment, we should just look at Goob's page. He's got so much.
Joey Swole.
Yeah, right? I love Joey Swole. Yeah. He's so great. If you guys don't follow those guys, follow them.
I
love Joey's stuff a lot.
I think past being called out for like editing and stuff, I like that they're calling out like the predators, the dangerous coaches, the like allegation, like the a lot of very serious stuff is going on. And like, not just in the fitness industry, it happens everywhere, but I'm like glad that it, like they're bringing those things to light, you know?
It's true. Yeah. Especially with an industry where it's so normal for coaches to get photos of girls like in their swimsuit. Like Zach was a bodybuilding coach for years, and like at once a week, every week he'd be going through like a bunch of like competitors.
He was my coach.
Yeah, he was in their posing suits and everything. And if they're like Creepyville, then
it's a very easy thing to like, oh, I'm getting paid to like choose to see this girl in a bikini. Like it can get very weird very fast.
Yes, it can get very weird.
Zach's one of the good ones.
Yeah, Zach's one of the good ones.
Thankfully.
But after that was just something that I didn't even have on this list.
Yeah, but no, all of that's crazy. And again, like those are my personal observations too, not even what I took from him. So I'm sure there's a lot more that I don't know.
If you want to learn, go to Goob. It's like Goob_U2.
Yeah.
And you can find out everything that you want to know about it, because we didn't do our research. But next topic is Christian Guzman shut down his 1 million subscriber YouTube channel yesterday.
I saw a video because I'm subscribed to him, but I don't actively watch.
I've been watching his whole Shred series, and we'll talk about that in a second.
He's like an amazing YouTuber. I don't blame. I again just don't intake a lot of fitness content these days. But I remember seeing a title being like, I'm leaving YouTube or something like that. And I was like, it's clickbait.
Mr. King of Clickbait. It was not clickbait.
Damn.
It was real. So
why did he shut it down?
I don't know. I mean, I do know. So he closed it down. He has 1 million subs on there. And basically, like in the video, what he talks about is how for the past like year or two, it's like ever since he hit that 1 million, because I think he hit that 1 million in his last summer shredding series that he did. And it's been fluctuating. Like he's been working so hard, and he has a giant team that's around him of videographers and photographers and people creating the most unbelievably beautiful content. And he hasn't.
Nabil is like the best videographer in the world.
My videographer
besides Ian.
Fangirls
Ian,
over Nabil. Like literally, we saw Nabil the other day at ALLLL.
He's also so sweet.
He's so sweet.
I met him when I was like 16, and still like we had like a very long conversation, I think, when I was like 16, because I really looked up to him even then for his skills. And every time I see him, he acts like I'm like family or like a long lost friend. And I'm like,
so
you're just so nice. Like he has no reason to be that nice. He just is.
That's why he's good at what he does, because he's nice.
A good people person.
But yeah, like obviously people like that are working with him, and he has this huge team, and he's been posting every other day on YouTube during this shred series. I don't know if it's
a lot.
Don't even get me started. I just know how hard it is for me and for Ian to post 2 times a week and have him edit it, and like all of the stuff that we're doing for the prep series along with him doing it. So he's just saying that he's been fluctuating between like the 1,000 subs, and he's losing 10,000 at one time.
Yeah.
He'll keep going up and down, and it must be so frustrating, especially with how much work he puts into his YouTube videos, time, energy, and resources for his videos to like, they don't really pop off the way that they used to.
Yeah.
So
I feel like YouTube in general, like personally, just from looking at things, is just so different anyway. And it's so hard for creators that have been on that platform for as long as Christian has to like still produce the same numbers. Like I think everything fluctuates on every platform, but I do see why YouTube would be the most frustrating, because it takes the most time and effort to make one video, let alone every other day, is insane.
It's crazy, and each one is like a freaking cinematic movie.
Yeah.
And
also poor Nabil.
Yeah. I mean, for real. Like
that's a lot of editing.
In the videos that, because I've been watching the shred series like while I'm doing cardio, it really like helps me. But they're all so tired. They're all so tired. So, and I just don't know how Christian does it,
especially on a prep.
He has 3D energy. He has a gym that he owns. He owns one of the biggest clothing brands, ALLLL, in the fitness industry. Plus he's still doing YouTube, and he probably has other things going on that I don't even know of. And it must feel really disheartening to like put so much work into the YouTube to try and get it back to like what it used to be and not see the results that he's wanting. So he literally, I don't think he's going to be posting on that one anymore. He started a new one.
Okay.
And last time I looked, which was like this morning, at 16.6K. I don't know. I think that he's going to post his recent show day video on that new one, but I don't know what the intention of him starting a new one is.
Yeah. So did he fully like his videos are still up, right?
Yeah, he's just not posting.
He didn't like delete everything.
No, he's just not posting on it, which...
Interesting. Maybe it's just like a form of creating a new audience. I think that's like needed sometimes. I've talked to you several times about like, I want to make a new TikTok or like, I want to start a second Instagram or whatever it is, because sometimes having just like a fresh slate just feels good. So that might be why.
Well, because
speculation here.
Yeah, this is all just opinion, speculation, my thoughts, my secret thoughts. But... I was reading all of the comments and kind of going into figuring out what people were saying about the reaction to it. And all of them were just like, they miss the old Christian. They miss the old Christian, which he's changed so much. I mean, him, Buff Bunny, Max Tuning, like those are just like the Houston people. But there's this OG YouTube gang that blew up when doing videos like that was cool, like the drone shots and the cinematic things and bringing in the vlogging, like the daily vlogging stuff. And I feel like he's just in a new phase of his life. Like he's
He's also an adult now. Like
30?
he started when he was a teenager,
Yes,
that account, which is crazy.
A teenager trying to build his first little gym and selling
your content's going to be different when you're like a 3-time business owner. Like your objective is different. What you're working on day to day is different. It's not going to just be about fitness anymore either.
So like, I'm curious because I know that he came out with this video that was like 10 years and 10 goals. He wanted to open like 10 gyms or something. He wanted to be an IFBB pro. There's a couple of different things. So I'm wondering, like, is this new channel still going to be fitness centered, or is this new channel going to be like Mr. Business Christian Guzman?
I would love to see Mr. Business Guzman.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't. I mean,
see, but I love.
I would still watch it because I support him, and I think that that's really cool. But that is a really smart idea. I feel like if that's the direction that he's going into, because then he can have a whole new. But I don't think it is. Yeah. Because he would have said that.
I guess we'll see.
I don't know.
Did he say anything about the new channel or just kind of made it?
He just said, like, I'm starting a new channel. I'm done this era. He literally put that he was posting on that first channel that has 1 million subs from 2012, to 2023. That's 11 years. And now he's not going to post on it, and he's going to post on the new one. So if his goal is still to be an IFBB pro, then I feel like he's still going to continue his fitness stuff. But
maybe a new style. You never know.
But it feels so crazy to just leave all those subs hanging and start a new one. But then again, Mr. Beast has like 7 different YouTube channels. So I'm wondering, like, is he going in that kind of sense? Because YouTube is moving in a new direction to where, well, society, our attention is limited. We have no attention for anything. So when the cinematic shots are being done and stuff like that, and there's no talking, there's no quick movements, there's no text on the screen, people get bored and they don't watch. And it's upsetting because all of that hard work that he's putting into, I know that he's working so hard and his team is working so hard. And it's the thing is like the way YouTube does well now is short videos and a bunch of stuff happening and chaos. That's why Mr. Beast does so well. Yeah. We're moving into a Mr. Beast sort of era of content creation to where if you're not going to keep up, you're going to
I feel like there's also 2 main splits that are both growing. And one is that like super high production Mr. Beast, a ton of jump cuts, a ton of action. And the second is like the more raw, picking up my phone, not planning anything, not like those are the 2 categories I think are growing, and anything kind of in between or like moving in between isn't getting the same attraction as both of those.
One thing that I was talking about with my videographer, because as soon as I saw that video, I sent it to Ian of my videographer and was like, what the fuck? And we were having a conversation about it, like why we thought what was happening, what could possibly be going on, what direction to move our own YouTube channel and stuff, just based off of what people were hearing. And the people in the comments were saying, we miss the old Christian Guzman, you just picking up your camera, like being with us. Because with this new Gen Z era, people don't care anymore about how cool you are or what things that you can buy or what businesses you have. They just really want, it seems like, a personal one-on-one connection. That's why TikTokers blow up, who are just like living their regular lives because they feel like they can connect with them. And that's why I feel like there's this downfall that's happening of the Kardashians. Because
I was about to say.
Because nobody cares about celebrities
literally
anymore.
I was like, when Julia stops talking, I'm going to talk about the Kardashians.
Yes. I've watched so many like little mini documentaries on YouTube about like the quote unquote downfall of the Kardashians and why, and that's the reason.
And if you look at their feeds now compared to like even just like a year ago, the old feeds were very like professional photos, everything planned, everything perfect, like full makeup and styling. And now like Kylie's recent photos are her just like laying in a field having a picnic and like what she's doing. And like sometimes she'll make a video with no makeup or just like talk to the camera, which was like unheard of for her without a whole production and team and lighting. And I think that's why they're becoming, of course, they're so good at staying relevant. That's why they're increasing their numbers again, is because they were like, oh, we need to show more of that side of us. Yeah. Which I'm bad at, but
gone are the days
that's what I like intaking.
Yeah. Just looking at what's pretty and beautiful. Now people want to see like what's actually, what's behind that, like what's really happening. That's why YouTube is so great, because you're able to show your day-to-day regular ass life, and people can relate to that versus like a celebrity that has like all these businesses and these cool like parties and materialistic thing. So I feel like maybe that's what people were talking about with Christian Guzman in the comments, is that like watching all those crazy cinematic movie-esque things like wasn't as realistic and relatable as versus him picking up his vlogging camera and saying, I'm struggling today on prep.
Yeah.
Which I am taking that into account, at least for my own
You're
YouTube
always very
channel.
Authentic though, which is why people love you so much.
And it was just my reminder of like the reason why I love doing what I do is for that reason, to bring people along with my regular ass life. You know what I'm saying? But, so yeah, that was just wild. I literally was doing my post-workout cardio, and it was the first thing that popped up when I opened my feed, and I was like, oh, watch the whole video.
Yeah, I'm sure that made your cardio go fast.
I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at the comments to see like what people were saying on the YouTube channel and when he posted on Instagram, and it was all like, we just miss OG Christian, which is sad because like he's not OG Christian anymore.
Yeah, you can't move back.
He can't like, he could just be vlogging now. I don't know, but yeah, anyways.
I can't imagine, because like I've thought about making a new TikTok and deleting mine, and I have like 60K.
Yes.
Like nothing compared to 1 million. Like that's such a big decision.
If you do start a new social media account and you have different like hobbies and things, that's really good to start a different account. So for example, like if I had my fitness TikTok account, and all my accounts are like fitness and mindset based, if I switched over to all of a sudden doing like a hair channel,
which I would watch,
all my followers would be like, that's not what we signed up for. That's what people subscribe because they know what they're signing up for. But if you were to start a different thing and do a hair one, you'd attract all the people that love to do stuff with their hair. So I don't know. Next topic is one of our good friends who's been on this podcast. We love her absolutely and incredibly. Maddie Forberg pulls out of her show.
I have a question.
What?
Did she move?
Yes.
Okay.
She moved again.
I like noticed she wasn't in Houston anymore. And like I knew during her prep she wasn't. I was like, oh, maybe like her coach or something or gym or whatever is in a different state and that's why she's there. But she's like gone. And I was like, I never got a chance to like hang out and work out with her. I'm so sad.
She lived in Houston for, I don't even know how long. It didn't seem like very long. And then she moved.
I seriously love her personality and her work ethic and her physique and everything else.
Everything.
Maddie, if you're seeing this, we love you.
Yes. And the reason that I want to bring up this topic, because it's so incredibly important, when I read the reason why she pulled out of her show. So first of all, she got 5th. She was at her national show. She got 5th at USA's, and her feedback from Sandy, which is one of the biggest judges, was she told her, and I'm reading this from her posts word for word. Sandy told her that she needed to have leaner glutes and that she has great potential, and that made her feel really good. So I want to read a section from the post that she made of why she's not going to compete in that second show.
And I did actually see this one. So I think this is the only one I'm up to date with.
She says, my coach Jake and I talked last week and ultimately decided that my health would suffer if we kept pushing. As you guys know, we've been trying to be very mindful of my cortisol issues. Long story short, I felt so terrible last year, sorry, autocorrect, and realized that my cortisol stress hormone was 3 times what it should be. I'm so grateful for a coach like Jacob who cares more about longevity than a trophy. I'm devastated about this. This show felt like a test that I was proving to myself. Every second for almost the last 5 months was accounted for and poured into these results. I will take time to recover, and then we'll set out to compete again in December. I just want to say, like, when I read that, I commented immediately, because it takes a credible amount of strength to compete in a bodybuilding show, but it takes a more incredible amount of strength to say, to know when it's done, to know when time is done.
I also think it's so important, and I'm glad she talks about it, because a lot of people don't. You need to put your health and longevity in a sport above a quick trophy or like a quick win or like potentially ruining your future shows.
Yeah, because we focus with bodybuilding, it's such like we want it all and we want it all so fast, and we don't think about the ramifications that could happen in the future. We don't think about any of that. We just think so in the now of this trophy, this physique goal, you know, showing people on social media, like whatever it might be, that we don't think 5 steps ahead of how this could affect our life in the long run, because it could potentially lead to maybe you having struggles with, you know, your hormones, maybe you having struggles with, you know, fertility, or it could lead to you not ever competing again.
Yeah.
Or
mental health issues, hormonal
like
issues. It could be anything.
Metabolism, like all of these different things. Like she was struggling a lot with her cortisol, which is so important to keep down and regulated so that your physique shows up on stage the absolute best that it could be. So I love that she wrote this and put it on social media, because it's such a really incredible message for anybody that feels like the pressure that they have to compete. They have to do it a million times. Because I always wonder, like, do these Olympians ever feel that pressure of having to continuously compete?
I'm sure they do.
Year after year after year.
I think everyone feels it. Like, even me being an amateur competitor, I remember, like, every time, I think I've only pulled out of, like, 2 shows, or I've pushed one back and stuff like that.
The fan.
Oh, no.
It's okay. It's already been on. Okay, I could hear like the noise
if
of
there's
the
a faint sound, I'm so sorry. White noise in the background.
It was my fault. I sweat in between podcasts.
Anyway, what I was saying is, like, sharing that with social media, or even just the people around you, can be scary. Like, sometimes you need to pull out, or you need to push back, or do whatever.
You don't want to let them down. And
exactly.
I actually didn't put it in here, but there was a part that she said, like, I understand that social media is a big part of my thing, and I get that I didn't want to let people down. And it's true. Like, even if you're not posting it on social media, even just like your friend groups, there's times where I felt like I've let my family down when I've had to pull out of a show, or because I've done this multiple times where I pushed my show to a later date because I wasn't mentally and physically ready for it, which was always the best decision. But there's even that like little tinge of feeling like I'm a failure to my family. And I know that's not true. My parents support me in no matter what I do and when I do it, but I get that.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is scary.
It's scary to admit it. It's scary to talk about. I'm glad she talked about it very openly, because I think a lot of people like sugarcoat why they maybe are pulling out of a show.
Exactly.
She was just very honest of like, my levels don't look good.
Exactly.
This was a hard decision, but we're doing it. And I think it'll just be better for her physique in the long run, which by the way, like I thought she looked amazing this last show.
Yes.
And I always get furious for her to like, I would place her first every time. Yes. I just love her physique.
I think everybody just always assumes that she's already an IFBB pro,
Yeah, but she has that look for sure.
She just has that look, and she has, like Sandy said, so much potential, and I'm so excited that if she competes in December, great. If not, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like another year of building.
Yeah.
Whenever it's going to happen, it's going to happen on her right timeline, and I'm so excited for that. And this time away could potentially be the best thing that she ever did, and propel her from going from 5th to 1st, and getting that pro card. So
isn't it crazy that like even I know this is more than a month, but like even an extra month of like give your body rest for a week and then go back into prep can do so much for your body.
It really can.
And mental health, which is equally as important.
Yes. So I'm going to keep updated on all that stuff that's going on, because I'm excited to follow along with her, because we love her and she's killing it. So next thing on the list,
these are fun so far.
They are fun. IFBB Wellness Pro Marissa Andrews wins the Texas Pro. So by the time you're listening to this, it's kind of like old news, but I really wanted to talk about it because I don't know if you guys know, but Marissa Andrews is Sunny Andrews' little sister. And it's so crazy because they were literally on the Olympia stage together last year.
That has to feel insane.
They're on stages together all the time. And it's so wild to have like a sister that you're competing against. Like, what? So she won. Obviously, she looked unbelievable, incredible. She has insane genetics, totally deserved to win. I was watching her interview yesterday on NPC News Online when she won. And in the video, they were like, well, what are you going to do until the Olympia? Because she's qualified now for the 2023 Olympia, November 2nd. And she says, oh, I'm going to go back to dental school. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'm just going to go get a degree.
Bro, and it's like they're both so similar. I mean, Sunny Andrews is a doctor, Dr. Sunny Andrews, and her sister is going to dental school.
Yeah, their parents did it right with their discipline.
Their genetics are nuts.
Yeah.
They're smart.
She is also,
and jacked.
I almost hired, I don't know who her coach is now, but her coach at the time when I contacted her is who I was thinking about hiring. And I reached out to her because I think it's good to like talk to other competitors who work with a coach to see their actual experience. You shouldn't always trust one side. And she was such an angel, not only speaking about him, but like taking the time to like answer me and give me details on like her body and how it's changed and all of this stuff. So she's also such a nice person. I love seeing like good people win.
Yeah. I've met Sunny Andrews in person a couple times, and Zach's computer.
I was like, what?
And She's also so nice. She is,
Oh yeah, I was with you the first time you met her. I think
it was at the Olympia. Yeah, it was 2021 Olympia.
I think so.
Yeah, she's so sweet. Like both of them are crazy. And the thing that I noticed is that they look so similar. Their physiques are so similar, obviously because they're genetically related.
Yeah.
But their glutes, same. Obviously, like they're not the same size or like exactly the same, but that like genetic pop that they have that's like different than any others I've ever seen. They both have it. Their physiques are so similar. It's crazy.
I also like her progress, Melissa's specifically, because Sunny's been competing a long time. I know she did, I think she did NPC in the past and then went WBFF for a long time. And then now she's been in wellness for a long time. And I don't think Melissa started until like Sunny was already an IFBB Wellness Pro. So she's like watching her progress between her first show, because like I knew who Sunny was, so I followed her sister, to now, like her progress is just insane. And it's really
crazy.
impressive how much muscle she's put on, and also like how much leaner she comes in every show. I feel like every show is getting better.
Yeah. So. And what's also kind of crazy too is that, so obviously, so last year, Sunny Andrews and her sister, Marissa Andrews, they both qualified for the 2022 Olympia. The year before, Sunny was first call-outs. This year, 2022, her sister got first call-outs and Sunny did not. So
that's gotta be hard.
Marissa Andrews was first call-outs in the 2022 Olympia and was the top 7, beating her sister. And then the year before, her sister wasn't. I don't think her sister was in the 20.
I don't think so either.
Her sister wasn't in the 2021.
But
Sunny Andrews was top 5.
Shows they've done, I've seen them like switch.
Oh,
like,
really?
One person will be higher, the other person will be higher.
Crazy.
I think it's really interesting.
I wonder what that's like.
I feel like I would, in my head, be like, if I had a sister and she was competing, I would be happy if she won.
Of course, they're probably really happy for each other.
But also, like, how are you not competitive against that?
At the end of the day, like,
to be.
It's a competition.
Yeah.
And a lot of the wellness girls already all know each other and they're all friends and stuff. So it is weird just, like, competing against them, let alone, like, your sister.
Yeah.
You know?
That's got to feel so
weird. So I feel like
also cool.
They keep, like, swapping places. Like, sometimes they like Sunny's physique. Sometimes they like their sister Marissa's physique. So that's freaking wild.
Fascinating.
On the Olympia train, Sebum posted a life update on his YouTube channel, The Love of My Life, Sebum. Don't tell Zach. But anyway, so I have been waiting patiently for Sebum to start his Olympia series because I'm like, bro, come on, hurry up. We have 2 months, okay? And so he finally started it, and he started it with like a little life update. It's not officially started, but he had been gone like off YouTube for like 10 days or something like that. And now the next video I think that's going to be posted is Sebum starting his Olympia series. So I'm sure it's going to be
those are always huge.
Epic and incredible and huge.
He's a great example of, like, he keeps it very raw and authentic. Like, it's high production. You can tell he has like a fancy, nice camera, but he's still like, we'll just show him like kind of sitting down and eating his meal.
Was. That's what the video was. Like at the beginning, it showed just like what he had been doing since, you know, catching people up on what he had been doing. And then it was just him sitting in front of the camera talking. Yeah. And he says that this has been a real hard start to prep. He didn't really go into detail why. It was just, all he said, it's been a challenging start to prep. But he's saying that each prep he's gone through something that has been testing and struggling. And he's like, I've made it this far. So, you know, it's fine. At least we're getting it out of the way at the beginning of prep instead of like in the very end or in the middle. Yeah. So I just also am so excited, obviously, for him to start that series, which would probably be the next video. And he's less than 10 weeks out.
I don't think I realized how close the Olympia was.
Yeah, it's literally November 2nd.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's less than 10 weeks out. And I'm like, oh my God, how are you going to try to...
I'm sure he's already been prepping and maybe just like... not maybe documenting he just... it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Whatever he does it right. Yeah, so he's doing just fine. Yeah, he doesn't need our advice.
He's 4-time Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
4 times.
Do you think he's going to be 5?
I think so.
I think so too. I think there's a lot of like really beautiful physiques out there, but something about Sebum is just like, he reminds me of Arnold with like the impact he makes on he's world.
The modern Arnold, for sure. 100%. Like the impact that he's able to make, he's just this... Now he's like social media Arnold. You know what I mean? And that's what I was literally thinking yesterday when I was watching that video. I was like, he's the new Arnold.
Because every time I've brought him up to anyone, even not like people who have never done bodybuilding,
they know him.
Who barely work out, they know who he is. And I'm like, okay, that is like that's the new people example of bodybuilding.
And not even with bodybuilding stuff.
Do you
they
think
just like knew him.
Classic physique is more popular than bodybuilding now?
I think that it's getting there. I honestly, my prediction is that the two most popular classes are going to be the wellness division and men's classic physique.
Yeah, I think they're the most desirable for the everyday person, which makes them the most popular amongst everyone. But also,
they're the newest categories within the male and the female division. So there's so much hype around. The wellness is the newest division that's been added. Men's classic physique is the quote, like it's not as new, but it's still the newer. So people just love that physique. It's like they love the physiques of the wellness. They love the physiques of the
I'm excited
men's
to see both of those grow. Classic already was has grown exponentially. And I feel like wellness is always gaining speed, which is exciting.
Very true.
Love to see it.
And one thing that also I wanted to talk about, one of the questions that I want to ask him if I ever see him is like, do you feel more pressure now than ever to continue to win? Imagine there's not as much pressure when you haven't won an Olympia. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure.
You're just like excited to be there.
You're just excited to like be there and to like maybe get the top 5 or whatever. But imagine how much pressure it is to actually come in year after year and win. And people expect you to continue to win. But then also, once you win a certain amount of times, what we've seen in the past with like other winners of the Olympia, at a certain point, they want you to get knocked down. So I'm wondering like, when are people going to start being like, let's have somebody else?
I also think about like at what point, if I were in those people's shoes, like the people who have won multiple Olympias, like either in a row or not, like at what point do you go like, I'm retired?
Yeah, like I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm just like win, no matter what. So like when is it done?
I think the selfish part of my brain would be like, if I won, I don't know. I feel like if I won one, I'd be like, peace out.
It's done.
I'm like stepping down a winner.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that I have a feeling that people will go into it thinking like, if I just win one, then that's enough. But then they're like, oh no, now you get the confidence. You're like, I want to win 2. I want to win 3.
Well, I'm sure like cbum, I feel like when you're on that level and like the goals are very limited because you've achieved so much is like, okay, can I become the most winning Olympian? Like that's a potential for him if he wants to stay in it for that long.
I think he definitely has that ability. I think that Fran can win all of the wellness till the end of time until somebody comes up and beats her.
Or until she's just done.
Until she's done. And I think that Sebum can win all of them until there's some people that people are saying that are coming up. I don't know their names. I haven't done much research on that, but there's 2 guys that are really close to Sebum that are coming up that people are actually worried about for this Olympia. I don't know. You might know if you're listening to this, but
we're not well equipped in the men's competing names.
But let's talk about the women's wellness 2023 Olympia. I looked at the people that have qualified so far, and I wanted to talk about it.
I'm surprised it's not more.
It's more than that.
Okay.
These are the only ones that I feel like people know the most, so I wanted to talk about.
Okay. I was like, this is not a long list.
This list, there was at least, how many is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? There was at least like 15, I think, qualified, but I took their names out of here because I wanted to talk about the ones that I feel like people would know the most. So obviously, Francielle, Miss two-time Miss Wellness Olympia.
I think both of our favorite.
My favorite for sure. Isabel Nunez, Angela Borges, Cassandra Gillis, Alexis Adams, and Marissa Andrews, which we just talked about, Sunny Andrews' little sister. All of them are qualified for the 2023 Olympia. My question is, where is Sunny Andrews? And where is Yarishna?
So were they not on any
They're not qualified. I don't think they've even competed yet.
I wonder if they're going to do... Because a lot of, but that would be hard. My thought process is a lot of competitors that know that they are typically in the top 5, top 10 at the Olympia will do a show like right before the Olympia just to be like, okay, I'm qualified. I'm already lean. I'll just step on the stage.
But the cutoff date is October 9th.
Exactly. So that also makes me think, are they going to go do the same show and then only one of them qualifies?
Or they're not competing this year.
Yeah, or they're done. If I'm being honest, I don't keep up with either of them anymore.
I don't,
and it's nothing against them. It's just like my attention span's really short.
I haven't been watching, but when I saw this list, I was like, okay, where are they? So I went to their pages, and it doesn't look like they're on prep. Either of them are on prep.
Maybe they're taking a year off.
Honestly, though, they need a break.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
I
think them two get called out the most, almost like online bullied borderline the most out of the Olympia like top 10. I just think, do you not disagree?
Really?
Yeah. I think a lot of people really shit on Urishna's physique at the last Olympia or the one before that. I remember there was one where she came in just like a little fuller than that was typical for seeing her at. And I remember she was getting dragged online by like everyone.
That's so dumb.
And then Sunny's been called out a lot for like, oh, you use insulin injections or your butt is fake or all of these allegations. So like on top of competing being exhausting, I'm sure these constant negative comments are also exhausting for both of them.
Ever since the Olympia was announced in 2020 for the wellness category, these like names, these huge names, seems like they have not stopped since then. It's been 3 years. And there was actually one of the competitors that I talked to, who's on the Olympia stage, and she's qualified for this year's too. But I talked to her in person, and she was just telling me how exhausted. This was last year's Olympia. She was telling me how exhausted she was, and that she keeps still keeps competing.
Oh, that reminded me, Bruna. So
Bruna.
bad with names. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I think she was, I forget what placement, but definitely top 10. I don't know about last year's Olympia. I feel like I fully blanked out on last year's Olympia.
Me too.
But the one we went in person, the 2021 one, I know she was in the top 10 and I've always loved her physique. I know she's not competing this year either. She's taking it off.
Honestly,
so I think it's a trend for a lot of them to maybe take a year off.
It's so awesome seeing that because they work so incredibly hard and they push themselves. And also when you get to that level, there's probably a lot of pressure also from the IFBB to continue to compete because people love seeing them. Like they love seeing them at events and they love seeing them at shows. And once you get into the IFBB, there's almost like this, you have to represent and competing. It's like your job. So I'm so happy to see, hopefully, I don't know if this is even true. This is alleged, but
watch them both be on stage.
They get so shredded so easily. So they could potentially qualify for the Olympia before October 9th, which is in less than 6 weeks or something like that. But I don't know. Also, if they're taking a break, good for them. Yeah. They deserve it. Yeah. They've been going hard since longer than 2020.
Yeah, I was going to say because they all still had to compete at a local show, get nationally qualified, do nationals, become a pro, compete as a pro.
And it all started in 2020 when it was first announced. But since then, they've been going, all the wellness girls have been going balls to the wall with competing. And in my brain, I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you did do it. I can't. I'm just not. No, so.
I think Francielle did probably the least amount of shows amongst the top 10 at the Olympia.
Because she's the winner. I mean, she doesn't have to. She's already automatically qualifies.
I think even that first year she won the Arnold, so I think she qualified early on. So versus Urishna, I feel like I've seen her on 10 stages in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
it's a lot of shows.
Probably even more than that.
Yeah.
I definitely have seen her wear every single color under the sun of a suit, so I know that maybe she's at a different.
She pulls them all off too. I've never seen someone pull off a yellow suit.
Every color she can do. Every color Urishna can do.
Also, her hair. I have so many questions about her hair care routine.
I have a feeling that she has a keratin straightening treatment done to it, which literally makes your hair look like glass. I was watching her posing routine yesterday.
Her hair's crazy.
From one of her shows that she's done. Glass. Literally glass hair.
The perfect length. Not a single flyaway.
Not a hair out of place.
My hair could never.
I think she has a keratin straightening treatment. Okay. It's beautiful and gorgeous. So if they're taking a break, good for them. They need it. This is a lot. Bodybuilding is a longevity game. And if you're continuously competing and burning your body to the ground, you won't be able to do so. So yeah, that's all we got for the body.
This is fun. I like this.
I loved it. Guys, DM us on the podcast Instagram. If you don't follow the podcast Instagram, it's down in the description. Email us in also. Let us know if you enjoyed this, and we'll continue to do more because Kendall and I love doing girly talks about fitness. Yes. So let us know, and we will definitely make this a regular segment. And as always, we love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think.
Bye.
Bye.